Mateora. Do you know the meaning of Mateora? Suspended in the air, literally, suspended in the air. In a few minutes, you will be at the balcony of Arlam, 400 meters above the earth. So you will have the feeling, if you go close to the edge, that you are floating over the rocks. Especially in winter, when the clouds and the fog are close to the rocks, you can't see the ground, so you have the feeling that you are flying over the rocks. Like in the movie Titanic, when DiCaprio with his partner was close to the edge, Jack and flying, maybe you will have the same feeling. Through the religious uncle, Mateora is the ticket for paradise. The old monks used to say, if you want to go to paradise, if you want to save your soul, be a monk. Follow the monk's life. Have in your mind that this place was a forbidden ground for women until 1948, because a Christian Greek Orthodox monk must be virgin. So we didn't have nunneries, we didn't have women visitors before 1948 here. That stopped, and now the ladies are able to come here, and they are able also to become nuns in Mateora, because the women of Kalambaka helped the Greek army during the war with the communist partisans after the Second World War. So the government gave to the ladies the permission as a gift back, so that's why now you are able to enjoy this place. The first monks, we call them hermits. The word hermit came from the Greek word herimos, which means desert. So a hermit is a person who lives in the desert, not literally, who lives all alone. The hermits, the first monks, came here in Mateora from all over Greece, from all over the Christian Orthodox countries of Europe and Russia after the 9th century. Before them, before the hermits, this area was a desert. 950. So that rock, the rock of the Holy Spirit, is the beginning of the monastic life. When the hermits saw the rocks, they thought that on top of the rocks they will be close to the sky, so they will be close to God, and they will be able to speak with Him. Today that sounds silly, of course, you can't speak with God. If you drink 1 liter of chipuro, you can speak with God, but the monk of the Middle Ages thought that he will be able to speak with God on the rocks. Why the monks built the monasteries on the rocks? For safety reasons. Here in Greece, between the 15th and the 19th century, we had approximately 400 years of Turkish occupation. This period was a terrible slavery for us. It was a big persecution. So the monks left the caves when the Turks were near, and they decided to go up to save their life. That's why the monasteries are located on the rocks. For example, on your left, the door in the cave over there is an original hermitage. The hermits were living over there. For safety reasons, they built the monasteries on the rocks, because today, if you want to visit a monastery, you just need to follow the steps. Before 1921, the steps weren't on the rocks. So the only way up used to be through wooden lanterns. So it was impossible for anyone to invade the monasteries, because before the 20th century we didn't have airplanes. So the monasteries were the perfect shelter for the monks during the dark period of the Turkish occupation. Let's organize our lives. We will be stronger. Let's build a house on the rocks, because now we are 400 meters above the earth, so we need the protection. Jesus, and we will make Christianity bigger. That was the motivation, and that's how the monastic community of Mateora was born. In 1344, the monk Athanasios established the first and the biggest monastery of Greece Mateora. It's closed today, so we can't visit it. So we are going to the second choice, the second biggest and oldest, Varlam. It was built in 1350. The hermit Varlam was from Georgia. Some bishop uniforms from the 17th and 18th century. You will see a big wooden massive barrel. They use that barrel to concentrate rainwater. You will see also the pulley system of Frisoni, the net, the only way up before the steps. And the wall paintings in the chapel are
Però passa che il momento che mi rilascio così.
Monastery.
Yeah, what's the name?
是这样子的吧？
Κάνω μια βόλτα κι εγώ εδώ.
这些放哪里？
我有这样多手嘛，又要我录。
Just hold on to it first, okay? Don't rush. Play on some for you.
她的这样美的，她是穿裙子来的 ，purposely。
No， 不是，
不是啊，她裙子这样美的。
哪一个？可能被。
24 monasteries, but today only 8 survived. Why? Some of the monasteries were burned by the Turks during the Turkish occupation. Other monasteries were bombed during the Second World War. If you look on your right, you're going to see footpaths, trees, caves. So what a better place for a guerrilla's war than Mateora? It was too difficult for the foreign soldiers to find the local soldiers. That's why the Axis forces used airplanes, SEALs. They bombed the area and accidentally they destroyed some monasteries. And finally, other monasteries were abandoned for centuries, and you know that if you are not in a building for a long time, probably it will fall apart. That's why we have the today's result. So we must protect the Mateora, we must protect the authentic character of this place. That's why you will not find a hotel or a restaurant here in this area, because it's a holy place for the Christians. The uniqueness of the rock formation the rare wall paintings and too many to get the rare wall paintings in the chapels and the very old monasteries and too many together at the same place meet up the criteria for the UNESCO's list. Unfortunately, after UNESCO, we can't have films anymore in Mateora. Before UNESCO, it was a very famous film here. I'm gonna tell you about that. On your right is the monastery of Greece Mateora, up there. It's located on the top of the most high rock, 615 meters. That monastery today has only 3 monks. In the past, 300 monks used to live over there. In the monastery of Varlam, 10 monks are living today. The peak of the brotherhood used to be 35. So let's go back to our story. We can't have films anymore. That's why the Game of Thrones production came here in Mateora 6 years ago, and they took only one photo from this spot and they used the photo for their second season. On your right, the Game of Thrones spot, one of the best sceneries of the Mateora. So let's get off for some pictures.